Hey guys, guess what? Chris Brown just dropped his album. So I'll be reviewing that with you today. So let's get started. The album title is Breezy, and you'll see the album cover has his name or his nickname, Breezy, etched in his hairline and in the back of his head. And definitely looks clean, looks nice. I like it. I'm digging it. Overall, the album has 24 tracks, and majority of the tracks have a feature attached to them. But Chris Brown is one of those artists that rarely misses. He never misses. Whenever he comes out with a project, it's always sure to be really good. So I was really excited to hear this album. The first track, Wheels Fall Off. Okay, so Wheels Fall Off, I wrote these down because it's 24 tracks. I'm not going to be remembering all of this by heart. So Wheels Fall Off, I put, this is more of like an airy feel. It's an airy trap beat with Chris Brown kind of doing like a freestyle. It features Lil Durk, who is a perfect fit for the track. And I think that with most of the songs, most of the features, except for one that I can think of, most of them, the artist that is featured on the track is a perfect match. It's almost as if Chris Brown is trying to show that he can maneuver, and he's so talented and versatile that he can take any artist's style and make something great out of it. At least that's the vibe I'm getting. So for the first track, the one featuring Lil Durk, I rated each song out of 5 stars. So I gave that one 3.5 stars. Again, I didn't see anything too amazing about it, but it wasn't bad. It was a decent song. So next track was CAB, and I think that stands for Catch a Body. Again, another trap record. I wasn't too sold on the hook for this one. It's a decent song to vibe to. It has a nice bass though, I will say that. That's probably the best part of the song for me, in my opinion. I wasn't too much of a fan of the feature, but it was just okay. So I wasn't much of a fan of the featured artist. Surprisingly, I didn't write down who it was. Maybe because I didn't like it. I just gave that one 3 stars. It didn't get the half for me, so just 3 stars. The third track, Pitch Black, has no feature. It's like one of the few that has no feature. It's definitely a slower vibe, and it's the breezy sound that we're used to. It's typical Chris, and it's a nice song for like a light sex playlist. It's not too raunchy, but it's, you know, very subtle. So it's good to add to your R&B playlist. The bridge has like this echoing sound to it, and it kind of leads to this semi-reverbed hook. So I liked it. It was overall good, like the first track, so I gave it the same rating, 3.5 stars. The fourth song, Possessive, that's the one that features Blue, and it features Lil Wayne. I think Blue's flow matches perfectly with the beat. It's almost as if it's his song, and the song has a lot of auto-tune. But what I like about the song even more is that adding Lil Wayne to it, it kind of brings this beautiful balance, because his flow is very familiar, especially for like the old hip-hop heads. Lil Wayne brings that familiar hip-hop sound to it, and even though he has a little auto-tune in some parts, it's like an even combination of Blue's style and Breezy's. So it's kind of like this hybrid sound that they've meshed together. I gave it the 3.5 stars. It was cool. I liked it. I like the format of it more than the actual song. The song was cool, you know, but it's hard for me to give somebody 4 stars, okay? Addicted. Addicted, the feature on this one was Little Baby. Lil Baby. He raps for most of the song before Breezy even sings, so you start to think it's his song. I love the bridge of this one and the hook of this one. I love the hook more than the actual verses. So I wasn't too sold on the verses, which is why I just gave it 3 stars. But that 3 stars is really because I really like the bridge and the hook on this one. 6 is Call Me Every Day. This reminds me of like an intricate, sexy Afrobeat vibe. I love everything about the song. I love everything except, and I'm being picky, I don't like Breezy's fake accent. I mean, I get the intent behind it, but, and I also love the saxophone towards the end of the song. I love the addition of that. It matched perfectly. So far, this is, up to this point, this is my fave song, like my favorite song. So I actually gave it 4.5 stars. The 7th song, the 7th track is Closure, and that one features her. And I think this song's placement on the album was a very smart move because it's similar to the previous beat, and the lyrics are good as well. And you know, it's her, of course, but it kind of flows from the previous track where it's not too. It has a hint of Caribbean vibes, but not as much, not as profound as the previous track. But it's a nice flow back into the R&B vibe, if that makes sense. Anyway, I gave it a 3.5 stars. Track number 8 is Need You Right Here. That features Bryson Tiller, and we're back to the bass with this one. It goes straight back to the bass. The hook has a fuddled sound. Like, I don't know how to describe it, like maybe muffled is the word I'm looking for. So it has that effect, like a muffled sound with the hook, but it didn't do much for me in comparison to the previous songs. I didn't even rate that one, honestly. I'd probably give it 3 stars. I don't know, it just didn't stand out to me. Okay, number 9 is Sex Memories, and I loved the beat instantly. As soon as it started to play, I fell in love with the beat. The flow is very catchy. It features LMA. I gave that a full 5 stars. Usually when they're paired together, they usually come out great. Song number 10, I think it's is the name. And this also has a feature, ESTG. I'm not familiar with that person, but this track, it reminds me in some ways of Need a Stack. I think that's the name of the song. Yeah, Need a Stack, another Chris Brown song. So it reminds me of that. I love the rap feature. So whoever he is, he's great because I love the rap feature. The beat changed a bit, but it was much needed. So it was kind of like a perfect thing. So I gave it 4 stars. Psychic, classic Breezy. There's parts that I hear that reminds me, I think it's samples Cassie's Me and You. The lyrics a little bit in the background, in the opening and closing primarily. It has a loyal summer vibe, catchy hook, catchy verse. The lyrics remind me of like Ascension vibes. Like, you can hear this is definitely like a spiritually influence song. It's called Psychic, by the way. I'm not sure if I said that. But it has Ascension vibes, which is a plus for me. I'm all about that. So I love this track. I gave it 5 stars. And track number 12 is Show It, which features Blast. And this gives me a 2006 style Bay Area R&B vibe, if that makes sense. I liked it a little bit more after I listened to it the second time, because I listened to the album twice. I listened to each track twice to make sure. So this one I liked a lot, actually, more. At first I gave it 4 stars, but I gave it 4.5 after the second listen, because it's something that's you get into it. I like that one. 13 is Sleep at Night. It's a slower song. I just liked how his singing pattern in the hook, Chris's singing pattern in the hook, reminds me of Juice WRLD, rest in peace. And the song was okay. I didn't have much to say about it. I gave it 3.5 stars. Track 14 was Passing Time. That one is more of a chill, laid-back vibe, but it wasn't one of my faves. I can see this being someone's song if they can wholeheartedly relate to the lyrics. Because the lyrics are very detailed, and it comes off like a heartbreak type of song. I guess like a Drake type of song. But I just give it 3 stars because I couldn't relate, and that was the only way for me to like it anymore, was if I could relate, and I just couldn't. So I was just stuck. It was okay. 15, of course, is Warm Embrace. We're all already familiar with that. I love the complexity of the beat. As we know, pieces of it, pieces of the words, samples, guys, let's chill. And you could hear that throughout the hook. Merges old school R&B with the new school vibe. The lyrics are also A1. I love it. 4 stars. I gave that 4 stars. 16 is Forbidden. The pace picks up very drastically, and to me this song has more of a pop and commercial feel. It's very pop commercial based. It's nice, it's fun, and I hear, like, underneath the beat I can hear like a 70s funk vibe, you know. Like I can see Robin Thicke or like a Bruno Mars singing this song. So it got a 5 stars for me because it's very catchy, it's fun. Come on, you know. 17 is Bad Than a Beach, and it features Tory Lanez. This is a good vibe. It's just what I expected. It's 4 stars. Typical Tory Lanez vibe, so it was cool. I liked it a lot. It was 4 stars. 18 is Survive the Night. This one has a lot of reverb and echo throughout the vocals. It was definitely not my favorite song. I think this is one of the lowest. I didn't like track 18. Survive the Night. I didn't like it. I couldn't survive. But not to say it was a horrible song. Trust me. Listen, Breezy. I don't even think he's capable of doing a horrible song. But yeah, this was not my favorite at all. 19 is Dream. This song has more of a slow start, which I didn't like. It took too long. Like, it took too long to get the song started. But it's a typical sex playlist song, and I can only tolerate this for the parts of the hook. I still gave it 3 stars because it was better than Survive the Night. So, but that's only because the hook saved it. But if it had started earlier, maybe I would have liked it a little bit more. It was just waiting and waiting, and nothing's happening. Track 20, Slide. I like the beginning notes during the first few lines, but then it veers off, and that was it for me. I didn't feel it. I just like the first few lines and the first few notes, and that was it. So that was a two stars, like Survive the Night. So 21 is harder. The song is harder. Slow classic R&B vibe. Think of D'Angelo's Untitled. That's what I wrote down, because it reminds me of that song. The vibe of it, like, and there's and even the way Chris Brown is singing, it almost sounds like I can imagine Charlie Wilson singing this song, you know, the same melody, even the build up towards the end. You know how Charlie Wilson, when he sings at the end, he has this thing where when he reaches the climax of a song, his voice kind of raises and it elevates and it builds, and it's like so intense. I feel like Chris Brown definitely channeled a little Charlie Wilson in this song, but it was good. I gave it 4 stars. I liked it. 22, track 22 is called Awesome New-ish, and in the intro there's like a soft guitar that you can hear. It continues to a slow R&B vibes, and it builds up to a more like pronounced beat. It was pretty good. It was decent. I gave it a 3.5 stars. 23, Luckiest Man. To me, the song was just okay. What I did like about it is I respect the fact that it sounds like he's singing to a special lady. It's like a song of appreciation and love. So that's all I like about it. So I give it 2.5 stars. The final track 24, is called Iffy, and it starts off with a catchy soft trap beat. This is a twerk song for sure. Instantly you can tell it's a twerk song. Definitely a catchy vibe. It reminds me of his album where he had the song Tempo. It reminds me of that kind of vibe of that album. I love the melody and the punchlines, and for sure, like I said, it's a twerk song, so I can see the song playing in the strip club for sure. And I loved it. I loved everything about the song. I gave that song 5 stars. So overall, I would say the album was pretty good, with the exception of a couple of songs that I didn't like at all, and also another 2 or 3 songs that were like 3.5s. Overall, it was a good album. I enjoyed it. So that's what I have for you as far as Chris Brown's album. And I'm going to tap in and do an overview of the versus battle, at least my perspective of it. And we gotta talk about some things, because that was a mess and a half, but we'll get into it. So take care, guys. I hope you guys enjoy the album.